Welcome to BBC Points West on this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Garmston. Our main story tonight, matches postponed. The start of the amateur rugby season is delayed because the pitches are so hard the players could get hurt.
You're then having to worry about landing on shoulders, elbows, all that kind of issues as well. So yeah, it can be quite a array of injuries that we're seeing.
Other sports are also affected. Our other headlines tonight: a police caution for an NHS worker in Somerset who accessed the medical records of 200 patients without permission. With love to Ukraine, the huge piece of art painted in Gloucester to mark the country's resistance. And a T20 contest with a difference, cricketers and rugby players raise money for motor neurone. Good evening, I hope you're well. The start of the amateur rugby season has been delayed for more than 2 weeks after fears players could be seriously injured on the pitches. As the drought continues across our area, most sports grounds are now rock hard and brown, with the dry conditions expected to carry on into September. Will Glennon reports from Wiltshire.
They've never seen it so bad here. The football pitches at Swindon's Morden Sporting Hub are bone dry. Despite spending thousands, the weather has reversed any good work and it's just not suitable for football.
This year alone we spent nearly £30,000 on pitch investment doing aeration, scarification to get them in a good enough condition for players to play on. So seeing them in the condition now is tough. This year has been exceptional. I mean, we have not had a single bit of rainfall in as many weeks as I can remember, and they are struggling. Player safety is paramount, and that will be the main factor in deciding actually whether play can take place.
At Allington Cricket Club in Chippenham, there is some green. A hosepipe ban has just come in here, but even then, you're allowed to water a cricket pitch for safety.
That was watered last Tuesday for 2 hours with a sprinkler. It got watered again on Thursday for an hour, and all the time we've been keeping the covers on it so that it doesn't evaporate. It really becomes quite critical for player safety because a 5.5-ounce cricket ball at 60 mile an hour can hurt, especially if you don't know whether it's coming at your face or at your knees.
Next door is Chippenham Rugby Club. You can't even imagine being tackled to the ground on this pitch. The hard surface can cause injuries to players like shin splints, tendon problems, even fractures. And there's more.
You then tend to get impact injuries, so landing hard on the ground. So then you get your bone bruising, your bursa problems. With rugby, you're then having to worry about landing on shoulders, elbows, all that kind of issues as well. So yeah, it can be quite a array of injuries that we're seeing.
Luckily for Chippenham, an artificial pitch was installed here as part of a national project in 2019. They can play and train all year round. But what about the team they're facing?
It could cause us problems if we haven't got opposition to play against because they're not ready, and we've seen that already. We were meant to have a pre-season game in a couple of weeks. That has already been cancelled because the club that we were playing haven't done any contact work because the ground's too hard.
The governing body, the Rugby Football Union, says community rugby is delayed by over 2 weeks until the 21st of September, hoping the weather will change and sport, like the pitches, can finally come back to life. Will Glennon, BBC Points West, Wiltshire.
And a charity looking after the River Thames says the lack of water is becoming more worrying as the drought goes on. Friends of the Thames say it's drier than they've ever seen before. Now, the river begins at Thames Head in Gloucestershire, but it's dried up completely past Ashton Keynes, more than 6 miles downstream. The area has been under a hosepipe ban since July.
Not only do we rely on the River Thames for our drinking water, for life itself, but so does all the biodiversity that call it home. And with the river temperature at the moment is in the death zone for fish. It's too hot. That heat then reduces all oxygen within the water and makes the plants grow. So that also it sucks out the oxygen from below and makes the base of the river much darker.
A man who led police on a dangerous pursuit across Swindon has been jailed for 20 months. Charlie Foster from Oxfordshire sped off after he failed to stop for officers in July after crashing into a vehicle. These shots, taken from the police car following him, show him speeding at over 60 miles an hour in 40 zones. He drove on the wrong side of the road, went through red lights and narrowly missed oncoming traffic. Eventually, the front tyres on his car came off and he had to stop.
Get on the floor! Get on the floor now! Get on the floor! Get on the floor!
After making a run for it, Foster was caught and handcuffed. The 20-year-old pleaded guilty to dangerous driving, driving while disqualified and driving without insurance. A man from Bristol who travelled to Somalia in a failed attempt to join ISIS has been found guilty of preparing acts of terrorism. Mohammed Mohamud, who moved to Horfield from Somalia to live with his family, was convicted following a trial at Winchester Crown Court. The 22-year-old became interested in joining ISIS after watching extreme videos online. A member of staff at a Somerset hospital has been given a police caution after snooping on the medical records of 200 patients. In one case, she even took a photo and shared it with her partner. The information contained highly personal data and should have been kept strictly private. The worker resigned after being found out. Our health correspondent Matthew Hill reports.
The NHS holds some of the most sensitive data on all of us. That's why it's not surprising that when 200 patients were told a staff member in Taunton had inappropriately accessed their records, including details of appointments, it had a devastating effect on some.
She went through my medical information, some of which was highly sensitive, and my son's, then sent screenshots to her partner. Where's the justice?
The incident was reported to the Information Commissioner and investigated by the police. The woman resigned before any NHS disciplinary process was completed. Police say she made full admissions during an interview and was given a conditional caution rather than being prosecuted. The police said when considering how to progress the case, officers weighed up proportionality with the level of harm and an assessment of motive, concluding her actions were not malicious and there was no financial benefit as a result. Some of those affected disagree with that decision. One colleague, whose records were accessed, told the BBC they believe there should have been a prosecution.
She found out that someone was pregnant by accessing their records, and also that records of children were looked at whose parents had died to try to find out their cause of death.
The scale of this breach raises wider questions about how NHS organisations report incidents like these. So, although in Somerset around 200 patients' records were accessed, in the Trust's annual report it is reported as one single data security incident. In Gloucestershire, one trust reported 187 information governance breaches in a single year. Great Western in Swindon recorded 48. North Bristol Trust reported 3. The BBC has spoken to a man who raised concerns about a possible breach involving his wife's care at Southmead Hospital. After she was transferred there unexpectedly for cancer surgery, a healthcare worker known to the family appeared at her bedside, despite not being told where she was.
She raised a concern that because I'm a female, my clothes not going to be in proper place. I'm not expecting any, visitor at this point. She was a bit afraid. She was thinking because she's practicing Muslim.
Southmead says it can't comment while investigating the complaint. Campaigners say NHS staff often have the technical ability to view records beyond those they need for their job.
Every time these systems are used, a line drops in an audit database somewhere, and the NHS app should say, your record was accessed in Taunton yesterday. I am nowhere near Taunton, and if my record was accessed in Taunton, something has gone wrong.
The hospital has apologised to everyone affected. But for some of the patients whose records were accessed, questions remain about whether the punishment reflected the harm caused and whether the NHS is doing enough to prevent similar incidents happening again. Matthew Hill, BBC Points West.
Well, you're watching Points West here on BBC One. I hope you've had a good day and you're at home, you've got your feet up, you're relaxed. There's lots more still to come, including...
I'm at a charity cricket match in Taunton where England stars from the world of cricket and rugby have come together for MND.
And low pressure remains the dominant part of the weather story through the course of tonight and into tomorrow. That will mean further showers at times, but still sunny spells either side of that. Details later.
Yes, Ian is standing by, but first, Avon Fire and Rescue Service believes a fire which destroyed several businesses in Weston-super-Mare started in a nearby field. Crews from a dozen stations were called to Locking Farm Industrial Estate on Tuesday morning. 75 tackled the flames at its height. No one was injured and roads have since reopened. A nurse from Somerset has inspired 40 colleagues to become stem cell donors after donating her own to save the life of a stranger. Jansen Della Cruz organised a recruitment event after being matched with a patient in North America. She said the experience was the proudest moment of her life. A painting which is more than 50 metres long is being created in Gloucester. It's called Lines of Resistance and tells the story of how the city responded to the war in Ukraine. Alistair McKee has been to meet the artist.
These are the faces of the conflict in Ukraine. Unseen people whose lives have been touched by the invasion and all have a connection to Gloucester.
I mean, this is where it started, which I think that is a good place. That's the Ukrainian church, that's where it started. That's where the aid started to come from. She's the lady that started it all.
And she was a Ukrainian already living in Gloucester.
Yeah, and this is her mother who has come over.
Russell began the artwork 4 years ago. He says nothing is finished and that he's working on all 75 canvases at the same time between visits to Ukraine.
I've always painted the people that sort of are around me. It doesn't make me rich as an artist. It's extremely interesting. And I like people and I like finding out about people. So this is a guy called Lucas, who his brother was coordinating a lot of the aid in just over the Polish border from Ukraine that then got sent into Ukraine. So the first truck that went from Gloucester went there. And
this is the truck?
And that's the truck. Gloucester came together almost unanimously at the beginning and sent truckloads of aid and did some amazing things. And I just wanted to celebrate what Gloucester did.
And some are people that you came across when you went to Ukraine yourself?
Yeah, this girl, especially Brogan, who was the first person who I had a problem at the border once, and she came to pick me up and took me to Lviv. And she was 21 when the war broke out, worked in Audi, and decided that she wanted to go and do something. So she packed her job in, left, and she's been there ever since.
With the portraits in various states of completion, Russell is encouraging those with anything to say to add their own thoughts to the work.
Because it's a terrible situation, absolutely terrible. Can't imagine what it's like for them out there all the time, every single day. And it's close to us, and it could happen.
What do you have to say to Russell for doing this?
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, excellent. Drawing attention to it, great.
Tomorrow, an exhibition at Gloucester's Shirt Factory opens to the public, giving them a chance to add their own slogans, pledges and prayers. Russell then plans to take the work to Ukraine and encourage people there to do the same.
Essentially, it's me doing what I do, which is painting big messy faces and big messy pictures and encouraging people to come along and help me.
Alistair McKee, BBC Points West in Gloucester.
It's 6:45. Time to look at some of the stories on the BBC News website this evening. Are you ready? Here we go. A Bristol man has received a criminal conviction after dropping a cigarette butt, even though he's never smoked. It was a case of mistaken identity, but it could take months to put the record straight. A new diagnostic centre has opened in Bridgwater. It will process about 25,000 scans every year. It's hoped it will cut waiting lists and ease pressure on hospitals. And well done to a lad from Swindon who dialed 999 when his dad was taken ill at home. Eli, who's 7, wants to be a policeman when he's older. His dad has recovered. And you can find all those stories and so much more on the BBC News website and BBC News app. Do log on and have a scroll. Now, next month, we'll see the ceremonies for the BBC's Make a Difference Awards, celebrating those doing great things in our communities. And tonight, we're meeting a finalist in the Active Award category, the Watershed Riding for the Disabled Association. And joining me is Pam Farnsworth from the charity and Claudia, a mum who nominated them. You're both very welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Nice to have you. How do you feel about being nominated?
Oh, we're absolutely thrilled to be nominated. We're so proud of what we do at Watershed. We just want as many people as possible to see it and share in it. And we welcome visitors at any time.
And Watershed is a place where the River Thames begins.
It rises, yes.
Yeah, so we've been talking about that already on the programme. Now, Claudia, you nominated the group. What made you do it, and what do you think about now it is on the final list?
Well, Pam really knows how much of a fan I am of the work they do with people like my daughter. So I didn't think twice when I saw the opportunity to highlight the work they do.
Okay. So tell me your daughter's position and how she benefits.
So my daughter benefits in confidence, in connection, in inclusiveness. It's a place that is free of judgment. And a horse, an animal like a horse, it doesn't judge who she is. If she's able to talk, it's a connection. That's one thing. But also all the volunteers, the work they do is incredible. I don't think I can explain to you in a single word what it means for me, the love and connection that they bring and joy they bring to the lives of people like my daughter.
That's really nice to hear. And what's her mood like when she comes away from the experience?
She's really happy. Little things for her means a lot. So, she feels life in a different way to you and like you and I. But the simple moment with the horse, it means a lot to her. She's very happy to be near the horse.
Hearing that must make it all feel worthwhile, but you are very passionate and you've been involved for a little while, haven't you?
Yes, I've been doing it for well over 20 years now. And it still means the same to me now as it did when I started. Just love it. It's just to see the joy on children's faces and to get adults out on a horse when they're perhaps in a wheelchair, unable to walk. Instead of looking at people's middles, they're looking down on people. We're in a beautiful place. We've got a stunning environment where we are. And it's just great to get people generally and children out into the countryside benefiting.
I bet it's hard work though.
Yes, it's hard work, but we have the most amazing team of volunteers. There's 60 of us and everybody does something, from making the tea, mending fences to poo picking. We just work as a team.
I know which job I prefer. But look, we're going to make a fuss of you at a Make a Difference Awards. You'll be looked after. You'll be given a nice glass of something fizzy and some nibbles. And, well, I can't say I hope you win, but, I hope you enjoy the experience.
Yeah, we hope so too.
Okay,
Yeah.
fingers crossed for you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you both. Now, some of the biggest names from the worlds of cricket and rugby have come together for a special match today. The star-studded charity fixture in Taunton saw teams for Somerset all-rounder Lewis Gregory and England's rugby captain Jamie George go head-to-head in a T20 contest. And it was all to raise money for motor neurone disease. Our reporter Damien is there for us tonight. Damien, how are you doing?
David, I'm doing very well. It's been a brilliant afternoon, not least as former England rugby captain Lewis Moody, who was diagnosed with MND last year, was the special guest. And the crowd of almost 3,000 have been thoroughly entertained by greats from both games. And before it all got underway, I caught up with Jamie George and his England rugby teammate Elliot Daly. Jamie, how are you feeling about this?
I'm quite nervous now we're here. There was a lot of excitement. A lot of people were giving it a lot of big licks for the last couple of weeks about how good they are at cricket. And now that we're here, there's quite a lot of silence. There's quite a lot of nerves floating about. But no, we're very excited to be here.
Elliot, you've been described by some of your rugby teammates as annoyingly good at all sports. So you must be pretty relaxed about playing cricket.
Who said that?
Yeah, a lot of people say that. I am incredibly nervous though, because it's something that you want to be good at, and then I just went to the nets down there and I was awful. So we'll see, but yeah, obviously all for a good cause. And no, when there's a cricket game, we always put our hands up and try and get down. But I think the last one we played in together was 2 years ago, was it? So it's going to be interesting baptism of fire today, but we'll see.
We're here for a really good cause, so talk to me about the importance of that to you.
Yeah, it's massive. Look, the link between MND and the rugby community and the cricket community, really, that was sort of where this conversation started, about trying to raise some funds and some awareness for a really important cause. And obviously it's been very close to us. We're very thankful that Lewis Moody is going to come down today, and he's someone that we've looked up to for a long, long time. And obviously the news of his diagnosis was shocking to everyone in the rugby world and across the world, really, across the sporting world. So, if we can do a small bit to raise a little bit of awareness and some funds and have some fun along the way, put a smile on Lewis's face, I'm sure, then we'll definitely be looking to do that.
Well, I'm delighted to say I'm joined by not one, but two Lewises. Let's start with Lewis Gregory, whose testimonial year it is and the reason the match happened. Lewis, your reflections on this afternoon?
Yeah, it was a brilliant afternoon. I thoroughly enjoyed it and hope everyone that came did. It was great to see some of the rugby boys, how they sort of crossed over to cricket. There was some good stuff out there and some not so good stuff, but we had a great time. We had a bit of a laugh as well, so very happy with how it went.
And given that the rugby boys and so many England internationals have come down to Taunton to play, just goes to show what this means, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like to see some of the big names. When Jamie sent the list through, I was like, oh my God, how's that happened? But they've been amazing coming down. I think they were all really looking forward to it. There was a few first ball noughts out there, so I think they wanted a bit more time in the middle. But it's massive thanks for them to come down here and put in a good shift.
Well, another Lewis, Mr. Moody. The most important question that people want to know is, how are you?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing well. It's been pretty much a year since diagnosis, and progression remains slow, just in the right shoulder and the right hand. So, touch wood. Long may that continue. But it was awesome to be down here, be invited by Jamie and Lewis. They've both been such stalwarts to both their sports, and they did make the foolish error of asking me to be involved, and I was like, lads, come on, there's no way I can be. And then I saw Alfie Barbary. I was like, maybe I could have done a stint, but it was just a joy to watch, and to be here and support these two lads, and also the fact that they're supporting motor neurones disease is a joy.
And briefly, since your diagnosis, the general outpouring of love and support, what has that meant to you?
Well, it's meant everything, right? People talk about the sporting family and the rugby family, cricket family, but until you're in a situation like we find ourselves as a family, you don't really fully get to understand it. So the love and outpouring of support and kindness is the only time I ever get slightly emotional dealing with this disease. So I'm incredibly grateful, and hopefully we'll keep having an impact as we move forward.
Yeah, we hope so too. Thank you for joining us. If anyone's remotely interested in the result, it wasn't the most important thing. Jamie George's team won with 2 balls to go, David.
Oh, that sounds quite dramatic. Thanks very much. Thank you. Now, the Met Office is asking the public to help name a future storm by choosing a character from Aardman, the studio behind Wallace and Gromit. The contenders are Shaun the sheep and his cousin, a lamb called Timmy. So it's over to you. The winning name will be announced on September the 1st, so get cracking. Don't know if you've got any views on that, Ian. What do you think?
Well, I think whether we'll get to storms named S and T will be interesting, but we are expecting that it may turn into the spectre of a stormy period, autumn into winter, but we shall see. I'll leave it to the 1st of September before we talk about that. What did come our way today, though, as you can see in this beautiful aerial photograph, was quite a bit of, in places, quite copious rainfall. Indeed, when I walked my dogs today, I saw a very rare and transient visitor to our shores this summer, the lesser spotted puddle. And indeed, the rainfall was quite appreciable for many of you as it sank its way southwards. This cold front on the radar by 4 o'clock this morning had staggered its way southwards, remained more or less in situ for a little while with some showers following on behind. Some of those were quite heavy. But then as the afternoon developed, for the most part the showers departed, much more in the way of some quite warm sunny weather. But you'll see this next cluster of showers, this next trough, just starting to ease in from the west into the outskirts of the Bristol Channel. Well, low pressure is in charge of how the conditions will develop overnight and into tomorrow. The centre of that is drifting its way southeastwards, and around that we'll run in some further troughs, just pepping up the shower activity at times tomorrow. And importantly, we continue this run of overall cooler, fresher air drifting in from more of a northwesterly quarter down across the country. But at the same time, high pressure is re-establishing out towards the west of us as we approach the weekend, and that will help settle conditions down, and that bodes well actually for what should be a pretty pleasant weekend, I fancy. So you saw those showers on the radar. The forecast model has picked up quite nicely on those, and you'll see the progress of those eastwards with scope for some heavier bursts in amongst all of that. But inevitably in this sort of setup it will be scattergun. Some of you, including those desperate for rain, will miss them. Others will see a number of showers, including through towards daybreak. And the temperatures tonight won't be as high as the last couple of nights. We're back down to somewhere between, let's say, 11 to 13 or 14 Celsius. Now, a rather breezy sort of day tomorrow. Again, one punctuated from the outset with showers in places. And again, there will be scope for some heavier showers. But either side of that, much like today, drier, brighter intervals as well. Bearing in mind the area of low pressure is out there, any of those really heavier showers will tend to be closer to it, but I think we'll get a few pretty much anywhere across the region as the day wears on. And the temperatures tomorrow, with still strong levels of UV but a low pollen count, will be somewhere into about the low 20s, so just a bit above average actually for this time of year. And I think the fresher feel will be quite noticeable, but again, feeling pleasantly warm, certainly in the sunshine. So scope for a few further showers on Friday. The chance of those will diminish as we head into Saturday, and probably completely so by Sunday, Monday. It's looking likely that they will be completely dry days, with that lift in temperatures becoming quite evident through that period. So again, another comparatively warm spell. And like I say, we'll start taking a look at the autumn fortunes as we tip over from meteorological summer into meteorological autumn, which will be the 1st of September onwards.
Right. You got a puddle today.
I did.
Luxury. Luxury. I haven't seen one of those for years. Well, thank you, Ian. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll see you at 10 o'clock, I hope, for an update on the day's news. But for now, from everyone here, night-night, and see you later.